Hello and welcome to the 30-Minute Mentor. This week, I think we should be live. Welcome. I've got some news. I want to bring you up to date with things that are happening, and I want to build this into what we're doing and planning in sorting out the essential tools that you need for your business. So if you can hear me and you can see my screen, if you can let me know, please, in the chat section, and then we can continue. If you can just give me a yes, you can hear or see and hear or something like that in the chat section, and we'll get on with what's going on. We started talking about essential tools. Oh, thank you, Thelma. I appreciate you. God bless. I started talking about this last week, and in the time frame between last week and this week, things have happened which have caused me to make a change to what I was going to be doing. If I can find my slides place, where are we? Here we are. Let me change the view so I can see what I'm doing. Normal, there we go. Because there are some things that you need for your business beyond a computer and an internet connection. And I had down 5 items. I had down website, autoresponder, backup, social media accounts, Google and Bing, etc. And I didn't have planning in there because that's such a vast subject. But it's important that we put it in here now because of things that have happened in the last 7 days. And what I'm going to do is just change my screen share. And I'm going to go to what it is that's made me change my presentation. And it is I'm looking for the page now to share with you. Is that it? That's it, I think. Okay, yeah, it's My Advertising Pays. And this is inside my account. For some reason, I've got some referrals. I don't know, because I've never promoted it. But this is the page I want to show you to start with. And I'm not sure whether it changes on... Yes, it does. Good. Okay, so now you're seeing the correct page. And this is not available from the site, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. But it is an announcement made, and here's the date, October the 15th, 2015. Okay? And it's a major change in what's going on at MAPS, and it affects principally, although it affects everybody, if I can find the right place. Let me go a bit slower. I don't want to. I don't know. Let me find the place that I'm looking for, because although it affects everybody, the people it really affects, here we go, are the people in the United States, because essentially they're closing their program in the United States. To me, that's incredible. I know they're saying that there's a declining market in the States for them and it's growing in other places, but the States is the biggest market in network marketing, multi-level marketing in the world still. And to close down an operation in the States and change it all, even take away the dollar currency, which is the internet currency, and change it to a euro currency, which is what they're doing. And essentially to say to all members that were members in the United States and that have built their business with Maps in the United States, your income is going to stop within the next 3 months. They're going to pay people off so that anything that they've got outstanding, they're going to pay to them. But I know people that are involved in living in the States who have spent time building this as their primary business, and they build it up so that they're getting thousands of dollars a month from Maps. And they're going to lose that overnight because Maps are changing their policy. Okay. Now, some of these people don't have another income stream. They've got all their eggs in one basket, and that's the Maps basket. And if that happens, well, it is happening. It's there. It's happening. It's myadvertisingpays.info if you want to look at it. Then they're up the creek without a paddle, because all of a sudden it's like being made redundant without any redundancy pay, without any pensions, without anything, or, you know, they're just, income is going to just stop. And incredibly, it's not on the site. If you look at company updates here, there is nothing about it. If you scroll down and you look at this, it's that update just isn't here. Oh yeah, it is. Sorry, it's here. But they've got other things up there, settlement payments about the payment. So it is there. I apologize. So you can access it from here. But they're going to have problems with it. And you can read their updates here. The processors change their stance and so on and so forth. To me, as I say, it's incredible that a company says, I'm no longer going to operate in the United States because it's a declining market. It, simply put, is beyond belief. It may not be true. So that is the reason for me changing the tack on what I want to talk to you about today. Let me get back to here, and we'll get back to the presentation. That information is there. If you're a member of Maps, it's there in the members area under the company updates archives. You'll be able to find it. If you're not a member, you can look at Maps or myadvertisingpays.info, and it's there. Now, most people that log in are not going to check this all the time. So a lot of people that are in the States are simply not going to know about it at this point. Eventually it's going to filter through to them. But at the moment, it's just not going to be understood by people. Now, does this affect you if you're not in the States? Well, I think it does. Although there are changes there that are going to affect you. I think the stability of the program has got to be brought into question. I believe there is more to this than meets the eye. I believe that there are probably legal reasons why they want to get out of the United States. And I believe that they can't run and hide forever. They may be able to change things to comply in other countries. But beware is really what I'm saying there. So let me get out of that and I'll get back to the presentation, which is here. So as I say, what that's done is it's caused me to change things and bring planning in to this presentation, because this is totally relevant. And it's my job as your mentor to point out these things that are happening and changing, and give you the best advice that I can give you in order to help you generate a stable income. Okay, so I want to just tell you a little story. Max Bygraves, I don't know if you've ever heard of Max Bygraves. He was a comedian in the UK, and he used to say, I want to tell you a story, and then he'd relate his comic banter. Well, this banter isn't comic, this is real life, because it's what I've experienced. And it's got Google and MLM there. First of all, MLM, multi-level marketing. I first got involved in multi-level marketing in the 1980s. It's a long time back for a lot of you. There's possibly some people that'll watch this that weren't even born then, but that's when I got involved in multi-level marketing, and I was fascinated by it. And I built an organization with a company, and I was making a lot of money, but most of the people in my organization weren't making anything. In fact, most of them had an expensive hobby. They were paying money out and not getting anything back. And I wasn't happy with that. So I left that first company and I joined another company, because I thought, well, maybe it's the product, because the first company was selling water filters, and water filters are not something that ignites and inspires the imagination of most people. So I thought maybe it's the product. So I got involved with a company that was selling wine and cosmetics. I thought, you know, every household in the country is interested in wine or cosmetics or both. So, and there were other things as well. They had other household items as well, but those were the two main things. And so I changed, and I built an organization there, and the same thing happened. I was making a lot of money, but most of the people in my organization weren't making money. And while I was wondering why, that company, that was Bacchanalia. The first one was NSA, National Safety Associates. The second one was Bacchanalia, and it went bust. And I just lost everything overnight. Now, fortunately for me, what I was doing in my multi-level marketing was on the side. It was just a hobby, really. It was very profitable, don't get me wrong, but it was just a hobby, because I had conventional businesses. I had pet shops and restaurants and delicatessens and this sort of thing. So whilst it wasn't fatal, if you like, to me, it wasn't something that just destroyed my my livelihood, because, as I say, it was supplementary to my livelihood. It's still not pleasant to just lose your income in a flash. And I joined another multi-level marketing company, and then I moved from the UK to the States, and that company wasn't operating in the States at the time. So I lost the business I'd built there as well. What I'm trying to tell you here is that sometimes it's your fault, because it's my fault if I move to a place where a business isn't operating. There's nothing that the business isn't at fault. If a company goes bust, it's not your fault. There's nothing you can do about that. It's like you've been in a job for 20 years and all of a sudden the company says we're downsizing, you're out of work. There are lots of things that can happen. Incidentally, the company that I started with, NSA, changed their policy. They moved away from water filters and they went to selling something else that I didn't like anyway. And I'm not sure whether they even exist at all now. So they changed their pay plan, they changed their products, they changed everything. And that can happen too. And that isn't infrequent. It happens a lot. Companies get to a point and they say, we've got to change things because if we don't, we're going out of business, or we're going to go into decline. Whatever it is, whatever reason they have, they change things. And Google is a classic example of this. About 10 years ago, maybe 11 or 12, I got involved, like many other people, online with advertising in Google affiliate offers. And I got on the train a little bit late. There were people that got on 12 months before me. And the thing was, you could advertise on Google and send people straight to an affiliate offer. So you could target them with keywords. So if it was a weight loss product or something, you could put in all the weight loss keywords you wanted, send them straight to an affiliate offer. And the clicks were so low cost that you made a profit on your Google advertising. Now, this was great for the affiliates and it was good for Google because they built themselves up into a massive organization based on the advertising. Because if you're making money from an advert, you scale up. So you might start with $100 and then it's making money. So you go to 200 and that's making money. You go to 500, that's making money. So we got people that were investing literally hundreds of thousands. I wasn't at that level, but literally hundreds of thousands of dollars a month with Google, sending people to affiliate links for different products, and they were making a killing. They might have been making 20% or 30%, but it was good money. And all of a sudden Google said, we're changing our policy. We don't want that kind of advertising. You can no longer advertise to affiliate links. And because you've been doing it in the past, even though you've always paid your bills on time and everything else, we're going to shut your account down just in case you try and do it in the future. So not only did they stop people doing it, but they absolutely closed their accounts. Boom. And they couldn't do anything about it. They couldn't change their tax. They couldn't do anything. They lost their ability and their income, and I had lost my income. It wasn't, I'd love to say I wasn't spending 100,000 a month on adverts, but I was spending a significant amount and making good money. And once again, because of a change in policy, the income disappeared. So what I did then was I took another tack. I said, okay, well, Google want advertising on sites that are relative to the content. They want you to place ad and they'll pay you for everybody that clicks on an advert. So I got involved in doing that. So I had a site built. It wasn't my idea. There were people that got into this before me, and they were called link farms, and they were sites with lots and lots and lots of pages that people could index from the same site and just look for anything, type in a question. How do I put oil in my Bentley Continental? And you'd get a page on how to add oil to your car's engine or something like that, you know. And on there, there'd be these Google words, adverts, like you've seen them all over the place, I'm sure. And people would click on those as well. And every time somebody clicked on one, you'd earn some money. And those link farms were great. You could earn very easily $20,000, $30,000 a month. As I say, I got in a little bit late. It wasn't my idea. I saw the people doing it and I said, okay, I'll have a go at this too. And I spent, I think around about might have been a couple of $1,000 on having this site built. And about 3 months later, Google said, link farms don't fit in with our policy. If you've got link farms, we're not only going to stop you putting our ads on your link farms, we're going to close your account. So once again, people lost money, and fortunately I'd had my account, my link farm, for about 3 months, and I'd made well over my investment. But had I been reliant on that income, it was gone in a flash, just like that. So said, okay, Google don't like link farms. I opened an account under another name and everything else, which, because I'd had that one account, stopped and blocked. So I then got into setting up lots and lots of different websites, just simple 1 or 2 page sites that were on highly targeted long tail keywords. And these had Google ads on them, and that was okay for a while. And I had about 180 or a little over, just under 200 of these mini websites, and they were making between $1 a day and, you know, like $30 a month, and the best one made about $400 a month, and everything in between. So that was quite lucrative as well, because I had a lot of these sites. And essentially the only cost was the domain registration, which was, I don't know, at that time probably about $8 a year. So that was good, and because they were highly targeted keywords, they just came up in search engines. People came to your site when they typed in something relevant to that long tail keyword, and they clicked on the Google ads, and you made money. And it was once again very good. Now, Google didn't absolutely stop that and close your accounts, but what they did is about, how long ago? 5 years probably, is it now? They brought in Google Panda, and it changed drastically the way that search engines found websites. And so from making $30,000 a month, the income went boom straight away down to about $10,000 to $15,000. You might say, okay, that's still not bad. Well, yeah, but I mean, if you've been getting 30 and you lose 20, it's not a happy state, I can tell you. So you look at it all and you say, okay, we've got to rearrange, we've got to change the way we do the SEO, and we've got to adjust to it. And we were just getting things back when they came along with Google Penguin One, which wiped everything out. So instead of it being like $15,000 a month income, it went to $5 a month income. It was just obliterated completely. By that time, I'd had enough of Google. But what I'm stressing is, no matter what you're doing, if you're reliant on third parties, and you always have to have some sort of reliance, you've got to have an escape route. You've got to have plan B, C, D, E, because no matter how reliable they are, it's highly unlikely that Google are going to go bust. But they are prone, as I've just explained, to changing the rules in an instant. And that is what maps have done. So if you're just focused on one thing and one thing only, nothing lasts forever, and you're going to come a cropper one way or another. So the purpose of the story is not just to get at Google. Google is still very useful, but you can't rely on Google for your income, because they'll change the rules, and you could lose all your income overnight. The same with any program that you're involved in. The program, whoever owns that program, can make changes. And when they make changes, that can affect you. It can affect you sometimes in a good way. But in other times, it can affect you in a bad way, and it can destroy you. In the same way that Maps is going to destroy the income of people that are living in the USA that have spent 2 or 3 years, however long Maps has been going, to build up their income in Maps and have not got an escape route, they're going to be metaphorically out on the street. So what I'm saying is you've got to rely on no one other than yourself. You've got to know what you're doing. You've got to have your plan, and you've got to be flexible with it. You've got to know where you are now. You've got to know where you want to go, and you've got to plan your route. And you can't plan your route unless you know those two things. If you don't know exactly where you are now, if, for example, you're just stood on the planet Earth, but you don't know where, and somebody says, go to London, you don't know whether to go north, east, south, west, because you don't know where you are. So you've got to know the two. You've got to know where you are now, and you've got to know where you want to go to, and then you've got to plan your route. And your destination shouldn't change. Your destination should be linked to what you want to achieve. And that is not by saying, I want to build a massive business in Maps or in Simple Fast Cash, which is a program that I run. It is to say, I want to achieve financial independence, and I'm going to do it. And this is the plan that I have to get there. And if for some reason there's an earthquake and the road gets split in two while I'm on my way, then I've got to find a way around it, because I'm still going to get where I'm going to go. Okay, so you've got to plan your route, and you've got to be able to change in order to get where you want to go. When things out of your control change, and things out of your control will change. We are constantly in a state of metamorphosis. We are changing, and everything around us is changing constantly. And in this modern technological world, change happens really, really fast. In the old days, it would be years before any significant change happened. Things just didn't happen that quickly. But in today's world, things can happen in an instant and change everything. So you plan your route, you know where you're going, you know where you are, and you start your journey, and you start it with the intention of getting to where you want to go, regardless of anything else. And I think Charles Darwin said, it's not the strongest or the fittest that survive. It's the species that has the best adaptability to change, or the most, something along those lines anyway. So it's true in all forms, and it's true certainly in your business. So I want you to remember that things change, whether they're changes in your that you instigate, or quite often, more often usually, things that are not instigated by you, things that occur, they're going to happen. It's how you react to them that is important. And you've got to focus on one thing at a time. You've got to focus on getting to where you're going. But it's no good trying to jump ahead of yourself. You can't be thinking, if you're in Los Angeles and you want to get to London, you don't start thinking about, how am I going to swim the Atlantic? Because you're not even at the Atlantic, you're on the Pacific. You've got to think, how do I get from here to the East Coast? You've got to take it a step at a time. And then you've got to think, how do I get from here to the edge of California? How do I go from the edge of California into Nevada, or wherever you're going, whichever route you're taking? So you've got to focus on one thing at a time. But at the same time, you've got to be building multiple income streams. You can't rely on income streams that are in the control of a third party. They can go bust, they can change the rules, they can kick you out, they can do whatever they want, and you have no control over their actions. If you have an income stream that is dependent upon you, like if you go out and with a bucket and a rag and ask people if you can clean their cars, the only thing it's dependent upon is your ability to sell your service to those other people. It depends mainly on you. But if you are selling the service of, if you are going around knocking on doors saying, would you like your car washed by Mr. So-and-so? And they say yes, and then Mr. So-and-so doesn't turn up. That's out of your control. You see the difference? And most of the time, we are linked with things that we do not have control over. And it's varying degrees of control. It can be almost 100% that we don't control, or it can be a small percentage that we don't control. But there is some element that we don't control in most of the things we're involved in. And for that reason, you've got to have multiple income streams. You've got to have different ways so that if one fails or changes, you have the ability to say, okay, I'm still good. I've got this, and I'm going to open another one just in case. Now, they may seem contradictory to focus on one thing at a time and to build multiple income streams, but there are ways of doing that. And I want to just tell you about a program that I run, and that has multiple income streams with a single focus, because all you do is promote that program. And it's SFC2. Now, what happens if SFC2 fails? Well, you should have something else as well. But within SFC2, there are 10 plans. And even if SFC2 collapses, you would still be in those 10 plans because they are independent of SFC2. So you would still have your 10 income streams, even if you had to promote them individually or find a way of promoting them all in one without SFC2. And within those 10 plans, there is there are some that are totally passive income, and this is great for people that are struggling to make money at the moment, because once you're making money, life becomes a lot simpler. You can buy traffic, you can buy advertising, you can buy people to do some of the routine tasks that you don't want to do. You can pay for having things done for you. It releases you to be more creative. But when you're struggling to make that money to get it started, and that can take some people years and years. I've known people that have been online for 10, 4, 12, 13 years that are still not making money. I'm fortunate. I made money virtually from day one. But when you're struggling, if you can find something that will provide you passive income that's fast and reliable, then it's good to get involved. But you've got to strike while the iron's hot, because what I've been talking about is that everything changes. Nothing is permanent. So if there's something that's working great now, it might not be working great in 6 months or a year. So you need to get in now. It's like my link farms. They were working great. I got involved in them and they did me great for 3 months. I made something like $45,000, $50,000 for a $1,500 investment. But then they were gone. But I got in, I struck while the iron was hot, and I made money. And that's what you've got to do. And there's a passive income plan in there now. It's program 10 that will allow you to do that. And I'm going to just show you I'll put a link into the page just in case you want to have a look at it. But what I will do is, when I find my right control place, here we go. We come out of screen share. And then we go to We go to I can't see it here to screen share. Let me cancel that. Let me just find it on my computer for a start. Bear with me. There it is. Let me go back here now. Try screen share again. There we go. This is program 10. I'll put a link in for you there. It is an investment. It is an investment that is totally 100% managed for you. It's not a Ponzi where people have to join for you to make money. And that is what most of these things that promise to pay you high rewards are. They are Ponzis, and they last for varying amounts of time, at best 2 years, and they get shut down pretty quickly usually. This is a company that's been in business for almost 10 years, and they manage investments for people. For the last 2 years, they've been concentrating on binary options, and they have a 91% win ratio over that 2-year period. And what that means is, and I've been looking at this for a while, but only got involved the week commencing 28th of September. And I came in with more than 1,000, but most people that get started start with $1,000. Now, there are options that I've built in here where you can start with as little as $125, but this is not directly with the managed company. This is a cooperative thing where you buy shares, and then those shares gradually accumulate in value with the wins that are made here. But if you start with $1,000, and if you'd started at the same time as me, 28th of September, they would have made 12 trades for you, and they actually won 9 of them. So it was a 75% win ratio in that week. And what that meant in terms of cash was that you made $187.50, which for a week is a 19% return on investment for your $1,000. Now, if you went to your bank and asked for 19% a year for a not $1,000 deposit, they'd laugh you out of the place. This is 19% in a week. Okay, a big difference. In a bank, you'd be very, very lucky if you get 5% in a year. If you buy an annuity, a pension annuity plan, which is there for your lifetime. Once you retire and you buy it at the age of 70, say, you'd be lucky if you got 6% return on your investment. And that is a year. That's not a month. Here, we're looking at 19% a week. Okay? And that is the worst they've done since I started. Week commencing the 5th of October, they did 12 trades and won 10 of them, which was an 83% win ratio. Notice that these figures are all below their average over the last 2 years. But hey, I don't mind making 46% in 2 weeks on my investment, even if it's below their average. 28% in 1 week works out at 46% over the 2 weeks. Okay, I'm happy with that. Week commencing 12th of October, they only made 9 trades because there was a holiday in the States on the Monday, but they had 8 wins. That's an 89% win ratio. my profit, or wasn't my profit, but the profit on $1,000 invested for that week would have been $250. I say I invested a lot more, so I made a lot more. And that would have brought your income up to $712 in just 3 weeks for a $1,000 investment. And this is trading, like trading on the stock market or anywhere else. It's trading Forex using a binary system, which is a simplified way that Forex traders have put out for them to get money in so that they can speculate on the way that currencies change. This is genuine income being created, and it doesn't matter whether you've introduced anybody, it doesn't matter if nobody else joins, it doesn't matter. It's all about a genuine income, as if you'd gone to a stockbroker and you were playing the stock market and he was managing. But this is providing a better win ratio, faster cash than you would ever get from a stockbroker. And just this last week, their trading weekends on a Thursday, they don't trade Fridays. They made 13 trades and had 12 wins, 92%, which is round about their average. And that was a $400 gain in that week, which meant that in just 4 weeks, you'd recovered more than you invested. You could draw out $1,000, still have $1,000 in there being traded. In fact, you could draw out $1,112, still have $1,000 in there being traded next month, and you've got that free because you've pulled it out. Okay, you've only made $112.50 profit on month 1. But if month 2 is the same, then you're making $1,000 profit a month. If you only make half that, $500 a month profit for zero, what amounts to now zero investment, because you've pulled out your $1,000 already, that is good money. But you've got to strike while the iron's hot. I do not see this stopping in the near future, but I didn't see MAPS pulling out of the States 7 days ago. You never know. You've got to strike while the iron's hot, take advantage of it, and don't rely on it. Once you get in and you start making money, diversify that cash into other things, and we'll show you how to do that. And that is what I wanted to cover today. And it's been a bit of a rant because I know so many people that have been screwed by the changes in MAPS. You can't blame MAPS, it's their business. Like I couldn't blame Google for the things that happened to me when Google changed the rules. And I couldn't blame corporations when they went bust on me and this sort of thing. But this now is where you can score. You can get started for 125. If you're starting with 125, you're not going to see these returns. I'll tell you that now. It's going to take you probably 13 weeks to double your money. But you go to a bank with $125 and say, how fast can you double my money? And they're going to say, well, probably about 25 years if we compound the interest. And you say, well, what's $250 going to be worth in 25 years after inflation? And they say, oh, probably about $45. Okay. So if you're starting down here, you're going to make money, but it's going to be slower. It's going to take you probably 13 weeks to double your money. And the idea of this is not an ongoing thing. It's just to get you to the stage where you can get your own managed account and start making money like this on a weekly basis. And as you start making money, you can put some of it back in, increase what you're investing, so you're increasing your profits. That's what it's all about. It's all about scaling up. You're scaling up things that work. Is it going to last forever? I doubt it, but I can't see it stopping in the near future. But as I said, I couldn't see maps pulling out of the States 7 days ago, but they are doing. I didn't see Google closing my advertising account because I was advertising affiliate links 10 or 11 years ago, whenever it was. But they did do. But I made money while it was available. And that is the thing. You've got to get in, use it. And when you do, don't leave all your eggs in one basket. We'll show you how to spread them out. That's really all I've got for you today. We'll get back on more things next week. We'll be getting back onto where I had originally planned to go, which I think was autoresponders. Yeah, autoresponders, because there's a lot that people don't know about autoresponders. They think, oh yeah, all I do is I set up my page and I capture the leads and I put in my messages and it sends them out and hopefully I make money. And there's a lot more to it than that. There's a lot more to how an autoresponder works behind the scenes, how you can get your mail opened, how you can get things working so that it is actually making you money and not just in theory, this is how I will make money. Okay, do we have any questions for anybody on anything marketing related or related to anything I've talked about today, or about any of the programs I run, or anything at all? If I can answer you, if I can give you an answer, I will do. We've got nothing coming in, but I'll wait a few minutes, see if there's any questions come in. I want to thank you all for being here. If there are no questions, I hope you found that useful. Take advantage of things that are there now. And then be aware that there is a good chance of them not being there in the future. There's no good trying to take advantage of them when they're gone. Okay. No questions. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate you. I appreciate you all. I love you all, and I want your success probably more than you do. Probably more than you do. And Thelma says, I heard the dollar is changing in the USA. Is that so? Not that I know of, but I mean, I don't know. When you say changing, what do you mean? They're going to devalue it or revalue it? I've not heard anything about it, if that is what you're saying. So I don't know, Thelma. But I've not heard anything on that so far. I would have thought it would have been top of the news items if it was, so I wouldn't think I'd have missed it. Is SFC2 still viable? Very much so, very much so. SFC2 really is just a collection of different programs that are highly accredited money-making programs, so that you can spread your asset base and do it with only promoting one link, which is your SFC2 link. And people go there and they pick the programs they want to join. And eventually most people will join every program. But program 10 in SFC2 right now is what I would highly recommend to people. Because you can get involved for $125 one time. If you haven't got $125, get it. Sell something. Go and do an extra job for the week. You know, ideally, you want $1,000. You want to get your own managed account. The $125 is just something I've set up to help people that really can't get together $1,000, or more often than not, just don't have the confidence to risk $1,000. Most people, if they really understood this program, would go out and get $1,000 and put it in. Boom. And next week, Monday, they'll be trading and they'll be making money from Monday. You've got to wire $1,000. You've got to have that in funds that are available. You can't send a wire using a credit card. So the best way, without doubt, is to get hold of $1,000 and set it up and wire it to them and get your own managed account and not be reliant on me running this feeder plan. Just have your own managed account. And within 4 weeks, 5 weeks, probably at the outside, you'll be able to get your money out. They have options where you can get bonuses. It's up to you, but I wouldn't take the bonuses, because if you take a bonus, like they'll say if you invest $1,000 with us, we'll give you a $1,500 investment, which is a good deal if you've got $1,000 and you're not worried about how soon you start getting money back. But if they do that, I think you've got to wait 3 months or 6 months before you can withdraw any cash. So you've got to weigh the things up. But I would recommend, if you to just get $1,000. If you know somebody, say, okay, let's do it together. If you can't raise it just on your own, let's do it together. We'll put $1,000 in, 500 me, 500 you. Get 4 friends, $250 a piece if you have to. Get your own managed account. That's what I would recommend. If you can't do that, then you can get started with 125. And if you can't raise 125, you shouldn't be looking at a business anyway. I've not seen any problems with withdrawals from our managed account fund. That's all I can say to that, Garnet. So I don't have any further information on it. Any more questions before we disappear? Okay, well, as I say, I can't comment on Option Giants. I don't know. All I can say is that the people that I know, I've not actually personally made any withdrawals. The people that I know that are in this plan with us have made withdrawals and are getting paid. That's all I can tell you. Any more questions? Okay, that being the case, I'm going to love you and leave you. I've got a lot to do. I'm working on SFC2, the back office there, and lots of other things to help you generate safe income through multiple streams. Okay? God bless you all. And that's it. Thank you as well, Selma. Okay, God bless, and we'll see you if you're in my Monday night session. See you on the Monday evening, and if not, I'll see you next Thursday, hopefully. God bless.